guys, and welcome back to Clearview Driving. My name is Amin, and today I'm doing a mock test with Shujaat. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you.
Now, you're an experienced driver, you've got an international license, and your test is in 2 days' time.
Yeah, that's good.
Have you done a test before?
Yeah, I have done 2 tests and failed both of them.
Okay, were they quite close together, the tests? Or
No, they were 1.5 months apart.
okay, is it at the same test centre?
No, they were at different test centers.
Oh, okay. Did you practice at those test centres?
Yeah, for the first one I practiced, but for the second ones I did for 1 day probably, yeah.
Okay, and this new test centre, have you practiced there yet?
The one I have tested in 2 days time, no I haven't.
Okay, well make sure you practice, because sometimes that's the reason why, you know, you're not familiar with the roads around there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a full mock test, start to finish, and see where you're at, and any feedback I'll give it to you right at the end.
Thank you.
Okay, are you familiar with what's going to happen in terms of how this is going to be conducted?
Yeah, I am.
Or I can tell you a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell me.
So throughout the drive, follow the road ahead. I am going to get you to do a bit of independent driving, where you're going to be following the sat nav, and we're going to just start that at the beginning. We're going to do one manoeuvre. We may also carry out the emergency stop, similar to everything you've already been practicing. The drive's going to last about 40 minutes all in all, start to finish. Okay?
Yeah, that should be fine.
We'll do feedback right at the end, so if there's any concerns or anything to address. Okay?
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so before we get started, a quick question about your vehicle, and one whilst you're driving as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you tell me, how would you check that your brake lights are working?
Yeah, so I would park it somewhere where I can see the reflection and press the brake pedals and see it in the rear view mirrors.
Perfect. All
with
right.
the reflection, yeah.
Perfect, thank you very much. If you guys are new to watching these videos and you like watching them, don't forget to like the video down below, comment, and let us know what you thought of today's video. Subscribe if you're new and select the bell icon, and we're going to go straight into this. So the sat nav should start talking as soon as we get to the junctions, okay?
Yeah.
But what we're going to do is we're going to head out the car park and make a right turn. Good luck, and let's drive off when you're ready. So right out of here. And then the sat nav should pick up our location, and we're making a right once it knows where it's going.
Roundabout, we are turning right.
We're turning right, yeah. It should start talking in a minute. You can see this mini roundabout is in quite a narrow space, so there's actually no space to go around it at all, and we had to go over it like this. And we're currently in a 20 miles per hour zone. You can see the road is extremely narrow, and you can also see there's a sign on the right hand side of the road telling us there is a humped zebra crossing ahead.
Right.
At the end of this road, we're turning right. Now this is a T-junction. It looks more like a Y-junction, as you can see both sides clearly, but you want to make sure you signal early. We're headed back into a 30 miles per hour zone, and just ahead of us we've got some roadworks on our side of the road, and there is a traffic controller with a stop and go sign. So the sign facing us is currently go, and you can see the traffic on the opposite side is waiting in the distance. Always be mindful of the traffic controller, as they will spin the sign depending on what's happening ahead, but they will give you a lot of warning with this. The sat nav isn't up to date with the road layout at this point, so we're just following the road round and then traffic lights left, okay? At this point, Shujaat gets marked down for clearance with the vehicle on the left, and he's also approaching the traffic lights quite fast. You want to make sure you're looking well in advance and approaching at a reasonable speed. You don't want to be heavy braking near the end, as that shows bad awareness and planning. And then the sat nav's back to normal again, okay? Shujaat is very familiar with the roads around the area where we're currently driving, so in the distance there is a new bus lane starting and the left-hand lane has to merge over towards the right. You can see with Shujaat's driving style, it's quite competitive at this point. You can see the vehicle on the right was ahead of us, so we shouldn't be trying to speed up to now get ahead of them. It would have been safer to just drop the speed and get in behind the silver car instead.
After 400 yards, cross the roundabout and take the third exit, A4, towards Langley.
Now approaching this roundabout, we're taking the exit towards the A4, which is the third exit straight ahead. Now the left-hand lane is going to take the first and the second exit, the middle lane takes the second and third, and then the far right lane is going to take third and then fourth, and also go back round to make a U-turn.
Cross the roundabout and take the third exit.
Now as soon as we enter this roundabout, Shujaat does end up switching towards the left-hand lane, but he does check his mirrors and there was nobody behind. So I simply told him we were in the wrong lane and he moved back into the middle lane safely. We've just gone into the wrong lane.
Take the exit, A4, then take the second right.
As we're taking the exit, there's a sign on the left-hand side which reads new 30 miles per hour speed limit in force. So this used to be a 40 miles per hour road, but now it's 30. Shujaat does get a serious fault for use of speed as he is over the speed limit. And also, if this was 40, you would get repeater signs throughout on the street lamps.
Turn right.
Now it's Shujaat's driving. Every time he sets off from stationary, it feels like he's always trying to get up to the speed of the road right away, and that too quite firm on the accelerator. And also with his braking, when there's stuff going on in the distance like traffic building up or red lights, he does brake quite late. Would you say you're trying to change how you're driving in this test? Or is this how you would normally be driving? Are you doing anything different?
No, apart from just this as being a diesel car, nothing different.
After 300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit, B470.
They've changed the layout here as well.
Lane?
No, we're going
Cross the
straight.
roundabout
This used to be a
and take the
roundabout.
second
That's why the
exit.
sat nav says roundabout there. And if you could take the next road on your left and just ignore the sat nav, okay?
This first left?
This is the first left,
Then
yeah, we're turning
you have
here.
reached your destination on your right.
So ignore the sat nav, okay?
Yeah.
And if you could pull in and park up on the left somewhere safe.
There's a single yellow line, so I believe...
We've missed the spaces, just carry on. And if you could just pull in and park up on the left here, don't worry about the driveways, just over here is fine. Just on the road, not on the pavement, okay? That's fine then, thank you. So we're not following the sat nav anymore, okay? Drive off whenever you're ready. At the end of this road, turn right, please. As we get to the end of this road, there's traffic queuing towards the left and there's a lot of traffic approaching from the right. Now, one of the vehicles on the right decided to give way. When this happens, make sure you get eye contact and slowly go out forward into that space, but continue to check behind them to make sure there's no motorbikes or cyclists on the other side of that traffic. Take the next road on your right, please. As soon as we turn into this new road, there are signs telling us it's a 30 road, but it's not actually safe to drive up to that speed. So whenever you turn into a new road, look for the speed limit and then assess what is a safe speed according to what's actually going on this road. So you can see along this road there are various warning signs, and on the left hand side we have a sign telling us that pedestrians may be walking in the road towards us, as there is no footpath. Just take it a little bit slower here. So even though Shujaat is not over the speed limit at this point, he was driving too fast for the road condition. Because there was a bend and the chance of pedestrians in the road, it was unsafe to even be driving at 20. Even if you're driving within the speed limit, you can still fail your driving test for driving too fast. This is a 30 road. There are bends throughout this road. You can see this is a humpback bridge, which is traffic light controlled, but coming around this bend, the car felt too fast. Driving down this road, there are various traffic calming measures and warning signs. So we've got a school sign on the left-hand side, and we've got chicanes, which are used as traffic calming measures to slow down the traffic throughout this road, as well as double bends towards the left and right. So Shujaat does get marked down for use of speed again, even though he's not over 30, he's driving too fast. Just keep it a little slower here. At the end of this road, turn left. Okay, now when we get to the roundabout, I'd like you to turn right. It's the third exit. shortly going to be turning left. There are 2 lanes going towards the exit and we're currently in the overtaking lane, but because we're going to be turning left soon after, we want to try and switch back when it's safe. Once Shujaat had switched back towards the left, he ends up getting marked down for following distance as he's following the learner driver too closely. Okay, so it's the second left turn, okay?
Not this one, the next one.
Yeah, it's just
So
it's just
high
that it
street.
comes up quite quickly, so left in there. At the end, turn right. As we turned into this high street, you can see the vehicle in front has their hazard lights on and it looks like they're attempting to do a parallel park. But as we pulled up behind them, they actually started to drive off forward. Now be really careful with how they're positioning. You can see they're nipping into this space on the right and then they move back out into the road. This little swing towards the right tells us that that car is actually going to be parallel parking on the right hand side of the road. So at this point you want to make sure you stay as far back as possible to be able to deal with the situation more easily. Just go forward into that little bit. At this point, this looks like a left turn, but in fact the road is simply bending towards the left and there is a junction in front, but it is a no entry. Now you wouldn't need to indicate left at this point, but if you feel like your signal will be helpful, you can put it on, although it is simply a bend. You really want to be mindful of the zebra crossing at points like this. Second exit at the roundabout here. Roundabout, I'd like you to take the second exit towards Colnbrook. On here it says Hounslow, but second exit. I would suggest using the middle lane because I think the left lane is a left only. the car park should be coming up on your right, and we're going to turn into it, okay?
Yeah.
So just in there, turn right. Okay, now once we're in the car park,
Yeah.
I'd like you to just drive over towards the right, just up that way a little bit. Yeah, just keep going forward, up that way. If you can reverse into a space of your choice, make sure you finish within the white lines of the bay. You have a few options around here. And you can switch off the engine. Yeah, the parking space is just, it's not like this one. But it's not your fault. It's just the way the car park is like situated. Okay, so that's the end of your driving test. How would you say your drive went?
Yeah, I did very well.
There were no major things that you noticed, right?
Yeah, apart from this blind spot and...
Okay, so if this was your driving test, unfortunately you would not have passed. And there's only one main thing, which is kind of a bit of a reoccurring theme. You drive too fast. Have you been told by your instructor at all, or even in your test previously, that they say you're going a bit quick sometimes?
No.
Okay, so there was a few times today I just felt like we were driving...
above the limit?
Not necessarily above the limit. So you have to think about, firstly, what is the speed limit, and then you think if it's safe. So sometimes you're at the speed limit, but it's just like the speed limit is too fast.
Yeah, on that single road.
On that road, I had to tell you twice because you were not over the speed limit, but the road is quite narrow. We can't see, and then there's no pavement, and you're still going 17. And I know it's 30, but looking at that section where we can't see, and you're just going into it at that speed, it's still too fast. And then the bit afterwards where it's 30 and then there's built up hedges on that side, there's a pavement on this side, you're still going fully at 30. I have to tell you to slow down. After that, you kind of kept it on 27, 26 the whole time, which was okay. And at parts it felt a bit fast, at parts it felt okay. So it wasn't that you were over the speed limit, it just felt like you were just going too fast for the traffic and road conditions,
yeah.
Yeah? You got to think, is it even safe?
But one thing, on that road we had a van coming up behind us.
Yeah.
So if we were going slower than the limit, he was very close to us.
I know.
Wouldn't it be a fault for the because I have been actually I have been marked for the progress.
Progress. Okay, I get that. Progress would be that you're just too slow for the traffic and road condition as well. So what I would always do is, when you get to a new road, a new area, firstly, what is the speed limit? So let's say the speed limit is 40. Then I would think, what can I actually drive at safely? If we get a road where there are no parked cars, straight road, yes, 40 is fine. But now on that same road, if we put a few parked cars, 40 might be a bit fast. Then on that same road, if we put a few parked cars and a few pedestrians, now 40 is too fast, even though it's the limit. So on that road where you're talking about the van, I know he was behind you. But we can't see, and that hedge is built up. The left-hand side is quite narrow. It just wasn't safe to do what we were doing. It's like the road we're currently on now. This is 30.
But you can't drive 30.
You would only drive, what, 15?
Yeah.
Yeah? So that's why you want to think, wait, is it safe? You would only get marked for progress if now this is a nice straight 30 and you're still driving 13, 15, let's say. Yeah? Later on we had this one road where you were questioning the speed limit a little bit, and on that road, did you notice how close the lady behind us was driving?
Yeah.
Even when you sped up, she was still at that
Close,
same
yeah.
distance. But again, that shouldn't be a reason why we
Speed up.
So you have to always think about what's the speed limit, what's safe, and then go accordingly. For you, I would say you need to go and practice in the area where your test is. You need to look at the roads close to the test centre and assess what's the speed limit, what can you drive at, and then kind of look at all the difficult junctions in the area. Because on the roundabouts and things like that, I don't think you're going to have trouble. You're quite good with all your mirrors, knowing where you're going, but don't be so hasty to kind of get there. And another thing was, a few times, if we were talking about eco-safe driving, I feel like you waste a lot of fuel. Because we were driving, it was 30, you're fully at 30, and then there's a traffic light in front of us, very clearly red. Your foot's still on the accelerator up until really, really close. And then as soon as you stepped off the accelerator, you're pumping that brake. So there's no point in between where you're just, there's no roll. And the thing is, because you know you've been driving for a while, your brake is not exactly sharp. You smooth your brake out near the end. So if somebody's sitting here, you won't be able to tell unless they're looking in front. But yeah, it felt like, oh, we could have definitely made that a lot smoother. I'm thinking,
so other than the speed,
it was just the speed. Right at the beginning, you know when we went past Atlantis, right at the beginning, you were in the left lane, there was traffic on your right and the two lanes are merging.
Bus lane coming up.
Bus lane coming up. And again, I was thinking, where are we going? You're just getting there and then you're just signalling and you're kind of just pushing. And it's like, we could have dealt with this so much nicer, so much smoother.
Yeah,
so,
but
Go on.
Yeah, the car behind me
Yeah.
eased off and gave me the way to join the traffic.
He eased off really late though, didn't he, Mr. Singh? He wasn't trying to. He wasn't willing to, but you kind of went up there and I thought, oh, come on, why do we need to do this? Where are you going? What's the rush? That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, just nice and easy, relaxed driving rather than you're going somewhere driving.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's my biggest tip for you. Just take it easy. Yeah. Easy, nice and easy drive, and don't always go for the limit because that doesn't mean.
So for the future as well, for example, if we are continuously going closer to the speed limit and it is not safe, the instructors would mark us.
Yes.
Fail, yeah?
Yes.
I never knew this.
Yeah, think about it. Just because that is the speed limit, that doesn't mean you should be driving at that. Yeah?
Yeah.
You will definitely get... The way you were driving today, they would have told you to slow down a few times. Right at the beginning, when that first bit happened where you were speeding up and we come up onto Bath Road after that roundabout, I thought, oh, come on, you can see we're turning, why are we going so fast? In my head, I'm just thinking, should I say it? Should I wait? Should I say it? Should I wait? And I waited. We made that right turn, going towards Langley, kind of down that high street way. And even there, you were the first one off the line, driving it down, putting your foot down, going through the speed and gears, and you get to the limit and you fully like right up to the limit. And it's just like...
Yeah, that's because of the progress mistake that I got in my past test.
I get that, but that must have been you just were unsure
road.
of
Yeah, that's a different road.
That's a different road completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Wish me luck for my test.
Good luck with your test, okay? Just take care with the speed thing and I think you'll be alright besides that.
No,
Not so hasty. That's it. Let us know how your test goes.
Yeah, sure.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Alright guys, that is the end of another mock test video. If you have enjoyed today's video, let us know down in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, everything else, and hopefully by the end of this video you will know the result anyways.
Yeah.